Last weekend, we completed the initial fiberglassing stage of our bilge. After months of grinding away, we finally reached the pivotal moment where we could start putting it back together.
3 throw holes we were patching. And the reason why
I'm officially part of the crew.
YARREH.
You know, we're always trying to get better here as YARREH and bring it to the next level. Do it like a pro, you know.
That's what we're all about. We do it right.
We were about to embark on a massive journey. One we hoped not to mess up.
Where are we up to right now? We're building a boat. Pretty much.
Well, these are the old stringers. Some of the reason why we cut them off, because the previous owner just decided to cut them short to fit a bigger gray water tank or table. Yeah, they're all saturated with water and oil. Also, really bad construction of it like this. Basically, the wood inside of it in the bilge was all exposed. This is where the water ran through. So they're really saturated with water, rotten out, soaked with oil. The layers of fiberglass are soaked with oil in between. That's why we did so much grinding. And those are the new ones. 2 5/8 marine ply pieces, cut at the side, rounded over, both sides glued together with a structural filler and resin. And be ready to be glued into the boat.
So we are just making the templates for the new stringers. We actually did a huge patch job with the fiberglass, basically consisting of our whole bilge. It goes all the way back to the kitchen, all the way high up the sides. We repaired the bulkhead. And now, yeah, it's time to put the stringers in. So if you remember from previous videos, this was all coated in oil. At one point in time before our ownership, somebody didn't really take care of the engine, and oil over I don't know how long had seeped into the entire bilge. The water level rose. You could kind of see the history just by looking at it. Wasn't really maintained that well. How do you like the turnout of the fiberglass job?
Turned out very good. I'm glad we done it. It was a lot of work and a lot of resin. But I think it's worth it. While we're there.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Now we're gonna trace it out. Stringer time! little tool makes it a lot easier to, you know, get that perfect shape. Right now, we are gonna check to see if the stringer that we cut fits perfectly. What you say, Scylla? Are you excited?
Excited!
Alright, so pre-fitting that stringer I just cut, it's stringer number 3. We got the starboard side here. See how that fits.
Does it fit?
Oh, that fits so nice. I'm totally happy with this. I don't even need to adjust anything. No, this is totally fine. Could have a little bit less here, I guess, in the curve. But I think that this is totally acceptable. And put forward on here. And this would also get the glue, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to put them together, make a round over.
You might be wondering why we chose marine plywood over something like structural foam. The answer is quite simple: availability. At the time, we were in the midst of the pandemic, and sourcing certain materials had become a real challenge. Getting our hands on certain products and supplies was no easy task. So marine plywood was the most viable option available to us at the time. What do you got going on there, Scylla?
Put the first coat of resin on it on both sides, so make the wood waterproof. It's looking good. Oh my god, that's so good.
We got a good workflow going on today. Christoph's cutting the last stringer. We're gonna fiberglass them tonight. I'm so excited for that part. So you can actually see that the part that sits in the bilge is a lot skinnier on this one, because this one is like on the stern side where the bilge is the narrowest. And yeah, it's coming along. The cleaning process of fiberglass is pretty intensive.
Yeah, but when you get used to it, it's just what you have to do.
Yeah.
The first time when you get all those rolls and you're like, oh shit, I have to clean.
All this stuff, this is crazy, but it's just what it is. Otherwise, I mean, you have to buy a $15 roller every time.
Yeah. Totally. Alright, so yesterday we actually prepped all 4 stringers. So they are sandwiched together. We used marine ply, so we took 2 sheets, put them together, glued them overnight so they've cured. We had resined each side of those 2 marine plies before we sandwiched them together. So they cured overnight, and Christoph's just currently sanding them and prepping them because we're going to start fiberglassing them in today, which is super exciting. So yesterday, Eric added some fiberglass to the bulkhead, making it a little bit stronger because we had a lot stronger because we had actually cut it to redo the fiberglass in the bilge because we went all the way underneath the head, which is in this room here, and kind of all through the bow of the boat there. So now we just resealed it, 3 layers.
The layout was 21708 plus a chop strain on top, because Christoph likes the chop strain over the 1708 better, which we're not gonna see anyway. But yeah, that's what it is. It's gonna be really strong and eliminate potential squeaking there.
Yeah.
I think the top side was not necessary, but
Yeah, so he came all the way up to here and then laid the glass all the way down to here. So, making it extra strong.
wow, wee, wow.
Yo, just making an old and new comparison. These are the old stringers. Those are the new stringers. Look at that satisfaction.
Before permanently bonding the stringers to the hull with structural filler and resin, Christoph first traced each stringer onto the fiberglass. This allowed him to use them as templates, ensuring the next steps would be precise and seamless as we move forward in the process. There were 4 stringers, each strategically positioned to span the bilge, evenly spaced to provide optimal support across the entire area. With all 4 now complete and ready for installation, the next step was the dry fit. This would ensure everything is lined up perfectly and give us a precise placement for each stringer before committing to the final installation. One by one, we checked each stringer to ensure the fit was perfect, carefully finding its permanent resting place. But before that, we gave each stringer a final clean with acetone to prepare them and ensure they were nice and sticky for the permanent bond.
Oh yeah. Look at these. Look at those. Looking like this one.
Wow.
Alright.
Moment of truth. Stringers are going in.
There we go.
Afterwards, we are going to be drilling a hole to insert this tube, which will be the drainage for the bilge. So, right at the very bottom. I traced actually kind of where it's going to go there. So. Once cleaned, we carefully place the stringers back in position, using thick painter's tape to mark their spots. The tape also served as a dual purpose, acting as a protective layer to catch any resin that might spill over during the process. Before we began bonding each stringer to the hull, we took one last-minute template. This would help us complete the fiberglass templates for each stringer, which would be built up in multiple layers, extending further into the hull with each one.
So we got the thing in the box. We got the little spatula and put a little path of bear shit.
Start to butter up and set them down.
Alright. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be so good.
It was time. Christoph and Eric began applying the thickened epoxy, preparing to place the first stringer permanently.
I'm pretty proud because on the side's gonna come out and then we'll just pull that out and make it round. Oops. Kind of like 1.5, but you don't know how long this whole process takes. I think that round over will be fine. Yeah. You hold it up. And you're basically going to center it in between the masking tape. Yeah. You ready? Alright, we'll set it down. What's happening? We're just slowly going to press it down. Nice, yeah.
Once the stringer was in place with the thickened epoxy, we grabbed a giant popsicle stick to remove the excess, smoothing it out into a clean, rounded layer.
Let me get this stuff back out. Yep. So I was either just going to take it off like this, you see? And then I can actually round over with something that's nicer to fair. Yeah. What do you think? Well, that's what I'm doing here. Yeah, exactly. That's fine.
Woo! First stringer! Oh my god, it's so exciting. Look at it. It's officially in the boat. Getting glued down.
Before the epoxy had a chance to cure, we carefully removed the tape, ensuring we didn't disturb the freshly applied layers.
Woohoo! First stringer! Oh my goodness! It's glued in there.
The first stringer was in place, and once it finished curing, we'd be able to fair the round over and prep it for the final step of fiberglassing. But first, we still had 3 more to go.
This is off. Yeah, I'm gonna go get my hook. I can get my hook.
Oye mi güerita, vamos a bailar. Yo sé que tú quieres y te va a gustar. Oye mi güerita, vamos a bailar. Yo sé que tú quieres y te va a gustar. Oye mi güerita, vamos a bailar con esta cumbia que te va a gustar. Oye mi morena, vamos a bailar con esta cumbia que te va a gustar. Ella se excita cuando yo le canto, me dice que quiere más. Se pone bien loquita cuando yo le entro, le doy un poquito más. Ella se excita, se excita, se excita. Ella bien bonita, bien bonita, bien bonita. Como lo menea, dame lo que quieras. Ella es una loca, lo hacemos donde quiera. Oye mi güerita, vamos a bailar. Yo sé que tú quieres y te va a gustar. Oye mi güerita, vamos a bailar. Yo sé que tú quieres y te va a gustar.
Alright, those are the last two stringers that need to be set in place and glassed in. We started glassing in one of the stringers, the second one is just set into place, how you can see here. So, the first one has 2 layers of 1708 on it. Put some more light here so you can see this. It's really nicely done. Has a few air bubbles here, but I'm not too concerned. The rest looks really good. The ends are also nicely tapped in, so it's all very nice. Kind of started to make a mold for the mast that we'll pour that in place and then take it out, and still gonna decide how we're gonna build it up. But yeah, I'm gonna now set the other 2 in place. They're already marked out. So I'm gonna put down some resin with structural filler and embed the stringers, kind of set them down and then squish out. You'll see that in a second, in a few minutes. So yeah, it's kind of exciting to see new stuff in the boat rather than just the old grind and dirt and dust. Now it's actually clean fiberglass, which is awesome.
Oye mi güerita, vamos a bailar con esta cumbia que te va a gustar. Oye mi morena, vamos a bailar con esta cumbia que te va a gustar. Oye mi güerita, vente mamacita, hago los pasitos bien prohibidos que te excita. Dime si tú quieres, vamos a bailar. Dime si te encanta, vamos a gozar. Ella se excita, se excita, se excita. Ella bien bonita, bien bonita, bien bonita. Como lo menea, dame lo que quieras. Ella es una loca, lo hacemos donde quiera. Oye mi güerita, vamos a bailar. Yo sé que tú quieres y te va a gustar. Oye,
So is it actually called Bondo?
Yeah, it's kind of like Bondo.
So we layer this blue stuff in between to make the surface kind of gradual, so it doesn't trap any of the air once we lay the fiberglass down. And before, when we took the oil stringers out, you could see there was a lot of air trapped inside. And you don't want that, so that's why we're putting this blue kind of putty-like stuff. So when we leave the fiberglass, it's just gonna have a nice, smooth, like, rounded finish.
So what's the difference between the thickened epoxy? You're just adding that white, like, ground up fiberglass basically into the resin
The powder that we see
and
over
catalyst?
there? The powder that we see
Is that
over
the
there?
only difference? Is that there's just a powder mixed into it?
Yeah, structural filler.
That's what they call it.
If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It's one free, easy way you can help support this channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time. We are having skipping rope contests in the boatyard.